In the article, When Does Homage Become Appropriation, written by China Rose, she uses the Merriam-Webster definition of the word homage being something that shows respect or attests to the worth or influence of another, whereas the word appropriation from the Cambridge Dictionary defines it as the act of taking something for your own use, usually without permission. I think it's great that China decided to include the definition of the two words because there's an invisible line in between homage and appropriation that gets crossed every single day by a new artist seeking for attention. So the best way they can receive said attention is by either humiliating themselves, showcasing an actual talent in music, or pulling a gimmick, which for today's video is homage. You may be asking, what's wrong with paying homage? And China answers this in the passage whenever she says, artists believe that with paying appropriation being disguised as paying homage, there leaves very little room for underground artists creating their own originators and trendsetters for future music generations to look up to. Basically saying that artists are essentially nothing but forgettable because they have no originality. They don't set any trends that hasn't come before them, and they're definitely not doing anything new or different that hasn't already been done, which is very ironic when you realize them paying quote-unquote homage is them falling right into the narrative of not being creative. And in turn, for the future, when kids go to look back and see you but then realize, why listen to this person whenever I can just go check out the original guy that he's literally copying? It just begs the question, why even listen to a lot of these underground artists nowadays? Because what I begun to realize is that the biggest rappers in the underground space happen to be rappers who are direct parallels of guys who are at the top who don't drop as frequently. So of course we see a lot of Cardi clones because until Cardi drops, we need something to fill that void. Same goes for Uzi, and when it comes to people like Young Thug, it's more nostalgia baiting on a time when he was musically in his prime, which is why you see guys paying homage to Barter 6, using old Thug ad-libs, dressing and presenting themselves as an old era Thug, or for Christ's fucking sakes, if I see someone do another fucking homage to this guy's cover, I'm gonna blow my dome off, deadass. It genuinely has gotten so ridiculous to the point that I'm seeing dudes pay homage to outfits, stage visuals, Instagram pictures, tattoos, costumes, sounds, and every single goddamn cover art at this point. I think the line between paying homage and appropriating is getting very fucking blurry, and now when artists do pay homage the correct way, such as Cardi paying homage to Lil Wayne or 1300 Sape paying homage to Young Thug, who he is signed to, they now get grouped in with other guys who are obviously biting off more than they should with their homage payments. Another great point that was brought up in this article that reflects what I'm saying is when China expresses how another issue arises when artists continue to see the pattern of homage being used as an attention grab and are grouped in with those same individuals. Growing tired of continuing to see these gimmicks from their peers, artists do believe that there is an appropriate way to pay homage, but not without being categorized as the same artist, continuing to burn out and misuse the intention of paying homage. And now, because of a few people who ruin it, it now ruins it for everyone else. We even have a quote from an upcoming artist named Unitas who shared his own thoughts on the appropriate way to pay homage to an artist, and he expressed how he feels as if the underground artists today are running homage into the ground. He says, I feel like if it's an artist you grew up listening to and grew up looking at this person as a role model, then I feel like it's okay to do it if you are still being unique in your own way. That would be the way to go about it appropriately, said Unitas. Following that with how he feels as if paying homage has been run into the ground, he says, at this point, I feel like artists have burnt this out. What the fuck? I feel like artists have burnt this out to the point where artists shouldn't do it anymore, and now is looked at as something to do for attention. I agree with him, considering the fact that these people get paid from your attention, and once they find out that they can get not only your attention but a reaction out of you, they won't stop abusing that power until you just stop caring. And that then places pressure on artists to go back to the drawing board and see what they have to do better that sticks with an audience. But it ain't gonna fucking happen, because what they'll do instead is, once the bag of chips they're munching on gets stale, they'll just go and open up a whole new bag, basically meaning once this gimmick of homage dies down, they'll latch onto something else that gets reactions, i.e. starting beefs, playing into the satanic panic gimmick, queer baiting fans, overly relying on different elements in your music such as samples and production to carry the fuck out of you and not your rapping ability, and many more. Now, I will make this very clear that this for the majority is an issue in what I like to call the punk rap underground scene and not the real hip hop underground scene. I say this because when I flip over to the other side of their rap underground, you know, the part niggas hate to listen to me, the lyrical spiritual miracle, we not trying to listen to bars. When I flip to that part of the underground, they ain't relying on no gimmicks and or their brand to get numbers. They just cold hard sell their skills on the mic, which is why for the most part, if there is ever any controversy on that part of the scene, it's rap beefs. They're rap beefing because of how seriously they take their penmanship and how serious they are about their careers. And listen, I understand the infamous quote, good artists copy, great artists steal, but surely you don't think you could just steal someone's ID right in front of people and get off scot-free as if I can't tell you're trying to impersonate someone else, nigga. If no one is gonna call it out, then I will. This homage shit is fucking lame. And listen, I already understand I'm gonna get a lot of critique from young bucks or people who like to turn off their brain whenever they listen to music because, oh, it's not that deep. It's just, why you just hating, you overly criticizing. Why does it even matter that much? Well, to me it matters because it's literally killing the whole part of art, which is creativity, right? Whenever you are an artist, correct? A musician, correct? Typically people like to hear original acts of work and they like to see it, right? So whenever I'm listening to someone, and not only do they already sound like someone else I know of, once you start establishing your aesthetic and your gimmick and who you are as a brand is tied to a whole nother fucking person, I then have to call out your artistry, because nowadays, motherfuckers like to say rappers aren't rappers. They don't need to rap anymore. It's all about the music, right? So why aren't we calling out the fact that these niggas aren't original? Calling out the fact that these niggas are literally stealing, but it's okay to steal, right? Motherfuckers don't care about stealing, right? And mind you, because we could really get into the fact that a lot of artists today, nigga, they can't make no money because they're already getting robbed by record labels, correct? Because no one's gonna go fucking buy music. You'll go buy a tour ticket. That's why niggas got a tour for money. So whenever you're an artist and you see another motherfucker profiting and building a career off of everything you already done, and they're getting credit, and while you're getting hate, let's just say, for example, Young Thug, I find it crazy that motherfuckers will hate on Young Thug right now and love his past, but then there's a lot of niggas who copy his past that people love and make careers out of it, and now look at that. Motherfuckers are literally spawning people's careers based off their past work, and yet the people now don't get even as much love as they should because of that past work, because now niggas are listening to do y'all understand how this shit is so trippy? It's like an Inception or some type shit, you feel me? Like, it's crazy because no one wants to be creative, because whenever you be yourself or do something, this generation is now fucking conditioned to think being yourself is lame. Like, you gotta follow people. Everyone think, oh my god, I'm gonna go on a tangent, but I'm gonna stop myself before I do. Just understand, this is a growing thing in our generation where creativity and originality is dead, because these motherfuckers don't like that shit. No one is receptive to it. You feel me? In that scene. That's why I call it the punk rap underground scene. Cause this shit is not hip hop. It's really not. It's really not hip hop. I'm telling you right now. But if you watch all the way through, I love you. I appreciate you. It feels so fucking good to be back on the main channel. Go subscribe to the second channel because I'm gonna still post there. If you do want to hear me speak more in depth on some serious topics and just, you know, say my heart, get to know Z a little bit more, go subscribe to the second channel. But until then, I'll be back with another video in due time. Love y'all. It's been your boy Zio. Stay cool. I'm signing out. Bye. Bye.
Into my neighborhood, let the good prevail. Make sure them babies and the leaders out of jail. Look for salvation when troubles get real. Cause you can't help the world until you help yourself.